Hey friends, welcome back to this week's episode of AMA Friday with Amy Miller, Recruiting in Yoga Pants. All right, so this week we're going to dig into trends. We've talked before about data points versus trends. Finding that I'm repeating myself a lot here on the channel. It's been over 3 years, y'all. Every week we're going to revisit old topics, okay? Just how that works. But I do want to dig into this. This is something that's coming up a lot during some coaching calls that I've been doing recently. So if you are one of the fine folks who has opted into a coaching call with me, thank you so much. I am looking for ways to expand that. So I've had a really good time spending those minutes with you all and getting to know you and sharing some targeted advice. So it's been really fun for me. Maybe if things go sideways at my day job, I'll end up being a coach. Wouldn't some of y'all love that? Speaking of being Miss Congeniality, can we take a moment to appreciate my latest snarky t-shirt acquisition? Very popular with a certain subset of people. In case y'all are curious though, people ask me all the time, where do you find this stuff, Ames? What in the world? What have you done now? And where did you get it? Amazon, baby. You can buy literally anything on Amazon. If you know, you know. All right, let's dig in. Trends in your job search. This is really important. Here's the deal. There are going to be things that are not in your control. No matter how great you are at your job, no matter how wonderful an addition you would be to an organization, there are just simply going to be things that you do not have a say in. But it is very important to understand how those things can impact your job search. So I'm going to actually start with external trends, and then we're going to pivot back to internal trends because there are two kind of things that I want you to really pay attention to. So the first is the external trend. So what do I mean by that? This is where we are digging into like market forces, the economy, what companies are actually hiring for these days, compensation, all of those kinds of things. And so here's a great example, right? Like we'll just use recruiting as an example. I could pick on a lot of industries, but I know recruiting, so let's just go with that. I could get laid off tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. None of us do. So let's say that happens. Let's say I am on the market and I do have to find work. I have to take a hard look at the industry. The odds that I will find a role with the same compensation plan are probably not super good, right? Because oh my God, the market is lousy with recruiters right now, right? And companies are not hiring as many, and comp is, I'm sure, being pushed down a little bit. Supply demand plays a part here, right? And so I need to pay attention to those things. So first of all, is there even a market for what I do? That's the first thing I have to unpack. There's always going to be a need for recruiters. It shifts, it ebbs and flows, it goes agency, it goes in-house, it goes RPO, it goes back, it goes forth, it goes all over the place. But my job as an active job seeker is to understand those fluctuations, almost like reading the tide tables, right? Is it in? Is it out? Is it high? Is it low? I got to pay attention to those things so that I know where to launch my boat. Is there a metaphor I won't butcher? I'm telling you, it's a gift. So I have to recognize that. I have to really pay attention. Who's hiring? Where are they hiring? Is remote still an option for me? Do I need to think about in-house? Do I need to think about relocating to somewhere else where they're hiring? These are the things that I'm going to have to ask myself. These are the external trends that could impact my job search. Because here's the reality. If I'm looking for work tomorrow and it takes me 6 months to land a job, is that because I'm a bad recruiter? Probably not. I mean, now look, There may be some internal trends affecting this, which we're going to get into. But the external trends might be telling a different story. And it might be saying, girl, there's just not enough jobs. Or you're going to have to change your expectations. You're going to have to dumb down your resume. You're going to have to, whatever. That based on the market trends, I may have to make adjustments to my expectations, to my target companies, all of those kinds of things. So pay attention to those things, job seekers. So what does that look like? How do you follow trends? Okay. Research. Google's your friend. LinkedIn too. Target companies. That could be by geography. I want to be within 50 miles of my house. Target job descriptions, like search for titles, search for roles, enter those keywords into Indeed and, whatever, all the job, LinkedIn, all the job search sites, right? Look for those, are there a bunch of senior accountant roles? No, but there's a bunch of payroll specialist roles. Can I pivot? Right? I made that up. But hopefully you see where I'm going with this. You want to identify the industry you're in, the roles that you could easily move into, as well as adjacent positions. It can also be industry. Okay? I've been in tech for a long time. Maybe tech's not doing so great right now. Can I pivot to manufacturing? Can I pivot to healthcare? Are there other industries that are maybe having a different experience? And I now need to think about how can I present as qualified for one of those industries? External trends. So those are the things that you want to look for. You want to, again, you're searching for open roles, you're searching for company news, you're searching for industry updates. You're talking to people that do what you want to do. Right? You're unpacking like, okay, well, a bunch of my friends ended up pivoting to manufacturing. Maybe that's where I got to go. These are the external trends that you want to follow. Now you have to take a really hard and honest, this is the hard part, honest look at your internal trends. So what does that look like? Okay, so you've done your market mapping, you know where the hiring is happening, you figured out the industries that are hot right now, you're doing the self-reflection, you're doing the work, you're targeting the resume, you're doing all the things. But did you? That's number one. Because if your resume's not getting noticed, if you're not getting called for interviews, if you're not, sharing it with your friends and your colleagues and networking and no one's calling you for an interview, something's wrong at the top of the funnel. It could be a resume problem. It could be an application problem. It could be a networking problem. Maybe you're just talking to the wrong people. I don't know. These are some of the things that we talk about in my coaching sessions. If you're getting interviews, maybe that's not your problem. Maybe your problem is you're just not able to convert. Amy, I went on 5 interviews last week. I didn't get a single offer. Why? And so we want to unpack what are the similarities across those data points. Are you a silver medalist every time? Are you flat out rejected at the phone screen stage? You're not even getting to the physical on-site? What's happening? What is the trend? Because a single data point doesn't tell us much. That's a one-time thing that happened. Okay? But if that same thing is happening more than once, we have a trend. And we need to inspect that trend. And again, that is going to help guide us into what we need to fix. I get a lot of people who say, Amy, I need help with my resume. And I'll say, okay, let's take a look at it. Doesn't look that bad. I'm confused. Why do you think you need a resume overhaul? What's going on? How's your application? Well, I don't believe in online applications. I'm just networking. So you're not even giving people a chance to look at your resume. That's fine. You can give your resume to your friends. I'm not saying don't do that. But I mean, the fastest path to being considered for a role, I know y'all don't want to hear this, it's to apply for the role. Like that's kind of a kind of a no-brainer. Like that immediately gets you into like serious consideration for a role, whether you believe it or not. It's true, because I'm on the receiving end of those applications and I know this. Okay. You should network too, but it's really a dual approach is best. Or, well, I mean, I'm getting interviews, but I'm not getting any offers, so clearly there's a problem with my resume. No, resume's doing its job, getting you interviews. That's the purpose. So you have to really unpack that for yourself and understand what's working, what's not working, what are the common threads that I can pick at and pull on and reveal what's really going on. All right? I hope this helps y'all. I don't want to belabor this too much. I promise to keep these videos kind of short and condensed, but I really want you to think about that. I want you to really take a hard look at what's happening in the market. What is the external world saying about my job search target? And then what are my actual results? What are my actual roadblocks? Where am I getting stuck? What's working? I'm getting called for lots of interviews. Yes, you have a wonderful resume. That's not the issue. So use this data to unpack the real issues. And once we do that, then we can develop a strategy that helps you get around those big rocks. Make sense? All right, I hope this was helpful, y'all. Normally, I will do like a 30-minute deep dive. We will spend a lot of time on this, unpacking your specific pain points. So if that's something that would be of value to you, I am trying to figure out a way to bring this back and do more of these sessions in the future as best I can around my day job. Of course, I have limited time, but I really have found these very helpful for me. I think a lot of my job seeking community has also found it helpful. So let's discuss. Let me know down below if that's something that you think would be beneficial. And as always, we'll see you next week.